Alright guys, TacticalRabbit here, day 3 of week 4 of the CWL Pro League. Division B, the first split of it at least, is almost coming to a conclusion. A lot of interesting matches last night, definitely surprising upsets. Went against the grain for, well, you know, predictions seem to have been relatively easy the last week or so, but yesterday it was not easy at all. So we'll go through all the matches today. Like if you enjoy it, subscribe if you are new as always, and there's a very interesting story with Denial Esports, which is in the title of the video, and that we will talk about in some length. So to start with, Accelerate versus Enigma 6, I think this generally went as people expected. What I find rather remarkable here is that Accelerate have now lost, I believe, 9 respawns in a row, but they have won their last 3 search and destroys. So I'll just skip through the scoreboards here. You know, you guys can have a look at them in your own time if you want to pause and want to look at something specifically. But Accelerate managed to win yet another search and destroy. They're honestly a really, really good search team. And then when they go into respawn, they just get smoked. This was 3-1, so they actually won a round here in control, which they hadn't managed to do in a long time. But yeah, E6 take it regardless. Profizi goes 6-16. And then the last map is just a blowout. And this is the clip I'll show you in a second, but this is just tragic because Believe is 18-17, Emery's is 18-17, Profizi's 6-13, but somehow Robbie Beeman's sitting here at 18-5. And I'm not gonna lie, if you guys look at the stat lines, you'll be like, oh, well, you know, Robbie Beeman's playing decent, the rest of his team just shit in the bed. Doesn't tell a whole story by any means. If you actually watch Robbie Beeman play on the map, this guy, he's not a bad player. Like, he has a good shot, put it that way. But he baits his team so hard, it is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen an SMG player bait his team this hard. And, you know, you have to wonder why he had a 1.3 at the Pro League qualifier when his team didn't win a series, you know. That kind of stat line shouldn't be something that's happening if you're playing the game the correct way. And the desk were correct to talk about this as an issue. You know, they may not have been correct on some other things last night, but definitely I thought this was a fair point they made. That if you're on Accelerate right now and Robbie's going positive when you're nearly getting 60 point clubbed, then something is wrong with your team dynamic. And Robbie is sitting there in a corner waiting for someone to bait for him when he's the guy with the SMG, when he's the guy who should have gone first, when Fastballer would have done. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, Robbie might have like a 1.0, 1.1 right now KD on Accelerate, even though they're getting destroyed. Fastballer had a 0.7, and they were a much better respawn team. The 0.7 KD doesn't really tell the whole story because you're tagging people up and you're getting them weak to the point where you get the EKIA, but it doesn't appear as a kill on your scoreboard. So I think I could probably make another video on that at some point down the line if you guys would like that. But yeah, let's have a look at the end of this series. So this is the end of that map number 4 here, Enigma 6 locking down the fountain. Robbie managed to get like a 4-piece or something like that, but it doesn't work out in favour of his team because they don't even manage to get the rotation. That little spawn right there from Cade on the right side of the map is super helpful for them. And yeah, well, Accelerate felt like they needed to break into this hard point to rotate, or like as in to survive. But the problem is they then lost the rotation markedly, which is not what you want to see. And Accelerate just getting absolutely mopped in the respawns, genuinely embarrassing. The end of the series KDs are as follows. Robbie Beeman somehow has a 1.15 despite getting absolutely smoked in all 3 respawns. So I don't think there's too much more to say on that. Enigma 6 definitely a solid team right now. Their match against 100 Thieves is going to be very interesting tonight. So this was my favourite series of the day, Denial versus Splyce. Now to set the scene a little bit for this, there was a segment on the analyst desk before this when they were talking about Denial as a team. And effectively, Pac-Man was suggesting, and Studdy was kind of backing him up in that this Denial team, the entire roster has to go. Now, okay. Now, like, Rated made an interesting tweet on this, how, like, you're saying this about Denial when, you know, they were 0-5 at the time. They were expected to be on the lower end, obviously. Like, no one was expecting Denial to be above, like, you know, people were expecting maybe top 7, top 8, something like that, out of Denial. There's no expectations greater than that out of this French team, really, apart from the most, like, you know, mad French fan, right? Now, Pac-Man maybe clarified his point a little bit later, saying that what he really meant was that if you had to drop one of these players, then you'd have to drop all of them, considering they're French. You know, there's not other pools you could pick from. But, you know, Whalers has had experience playing with other players. You know, he played Marky B Mauls, and Moose. I think it was a Vitality team at stage 1 relegation last year. So I don't think that's a good point. And yeah, Rated continued with his idea that where were they talking about EG, where EG were expected to be pretty damn good. 5-1 at the Pro League qualifier, top 8 at Vegas, and then they come in and they start 0-6 in the Pro League. Where was the cause for them to be completely dropped? So I did think it was unacceptable. They were calling for Denial to be dropped, almost as if they, Pac-Man and co don't like the fact there's a European team in the league. They'd prefer it to go to their North American friends or some of the guys on G2 that they feel undeservedly missed out. Which, okay, is a fine opinion to hold if you want to, but that's not the sort of thing I want to see on my analyst desk. Just analyse what could potentially be going wrong for Denial, and then give some ideas of how they can improve or something like that. And Denial shut Pac-Man up so hard this series. It was just glorious. They played Splyce map number 1, lost map number 1, pretty close affair on Hacienda. I thought Denial had some chances at times, but Splyce ran away with it. Map number 2 they lost as well, and at this point there was no way, literally I don't think anyone on the planet would have called the reverse sweep, apart from Football World. So respect to that guy, probably in the comment section below, he actually called it. Remarkable. Then map number 3 here, we have the Control, and I wasn't expecting this. Denial come out with the fire, the hot 3-0 in the Control map. Temp has a horrible map, which you don't see too often. It's very obvious watching this team that they really do have great gun skill, and like a guy like Risk, a guy like Zeke especially, definitely an impressive team, and I think that anyone who was really watching them play knew that 0-5 didn't flatter them by any means. I thought they were better than what that record showed, and they finally showed it here, which is great stuff. I still thought they'd end up losing the series 3-1 at this point, but no, they win frequency 250 to 147, and this is a pretty crushing performance. Very impressive indeed. Risk went absolutely off the entirety of this map. Look at the KDs on the side of Denial. I think JP tweeted that they outslayed Splyce here by like 27 kills or 37 kills, something ridiculous like that. And then map 5, Denial win it on payload. Really tweeted saying like if Denial play payload like I know they can, they'll win this. And yeah, impressive composure, man. They're up 4-0, then they're up 5-2. And then they managed to close it out, which is truly impressive. Splyce didn't play the best series and get reverse sweeped by Denial for their first series of the Pro League. How fantastic is that? So this is a clip from that map number 1 here. What is Jerd doing with his grab slam? It's so good. I guess he thought he got the timing better than he actually did. But this is where Denial managed to break into the hardpoint right here. And look at the kills in favour of Denial. Really incredible. Pop the 200 HP. The slaying is just amazing here. And Heretics lost to Denial on Heretics beat Splyce on this map yesterday, but Denial handled them even more comfortably. The slaying was unreal. Then this is a clip from map number 5. This is the very final round here. Breezy gets shut down, but Risk takes him down in return. And then Denial decides it's time to pull out these specialists. Let's get back into the hardpoint. Nache does a really good job with this Tempest. Aqua falls. Risk takes down Jerd in the corner. No flak jacket on him. And then Nache takes down Accuracy as well. If it was me, I'd have managed to fall off the map there. Temp is eventually traded out, and that is the end of the series, ladies and gents. So this is the final scoreboard of Risk. Whalers went absolutely off this series. Look at the kills on Splyce. Like, none of them even went positive, which is pretty incredible. And, well, it sets up an interesting situation tonight where Splyce are playing EUnited, who also did not have a good time in their game. So then 100 Thieves played Heretics. They definitely had it in them to beat Heretics, I thought. Heretics did not play a bad series, I think, by any means. But 100 Thieves played really, really well. This is a Hacienda hardpoint. This felt very, very similar to the series against Splyce yesterday, where Heretics won map number 1 against Splyce, like 250 to 240, and then 100 Thieves also won a really close affair here. And, the clutch factor was with 100 Thieves today, and it wasn't quite with Heretics, and that really was the difference maker, because these maps were very close on the whole. And yeah, the fact that 100 Thieves just won the important gunfights, the crucial rotations, it also very much helps when you have Priest dropping 41. And yeah, Metals went 37 in 30, the absolute monster. But yeah, Priest just crushed it this series, and I was unbelievably impressed with him. Heretics lose the map number 1, definitely understandable, and then they get beaten 6-4 in the Surge. This really was the first time I've seen Lucky lose a sniper battle per se. He didn't really miss any shots, like he still hit some really nasty shots, did Lucky, like he seems to do every single time, but Octane definitely got the better of him here. I'm super impressed with what Octane has brought to the table over the last couple of weeks, because, he was arguably the man to be dropped when they weren't performing well at the Pro League qualifier. People thinking, you need to get rid of one of the ARs getting a more fast-paced SMG player, like, you know, the likes of a Priest or a Sim that we were talking about at the time, but he's really showed up as of late, especially in Search and Destroy. Very impressive indeed. Then into the Control, they'd be Heretics 3-2. All these maps are very close. 100 Thieves, obviously a solid squad. I don't think Heretics played a bad series by any means, but, you know, it's a very fine margins in this game. And they lose this series 3-0 to 100 Thieves. This final round here in the Control was very interesting. There was a couple of clutch rounds. We actually saw a 1v1 in Control, which is a rarity. And when it happens, you got to enjoy it because it's a good time. But yeah, 100 Thieves closed it out. Best Control team in the game, baby. Impressive. Heretics move to 5-1. 100 Thieves get another victory on the board. What do you guys think about this? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. So this is the end of that map number 1. Octane and Co are trying to hold down this fences area. It looks pretty much over for Heretics here, but somehow they managed to make it work. Priester gets a 2-piece. Octane's got the Tempest out, and he gets a really nice shot here over the fence. He jumps up and takes down Sukri, and chains to all 3, but somehow Metals managed to clutch up. Methods gets back off the floor, wins this gunfight on Enable. Metals gets another kill, and at this point you think it actually may be possible, but Journey makes a mistake here. You look at this minimap, Journey decides to go all the way around number 9. If he went straight to the hill, they may have had a chance. Now, I'm not saying they would have had a chance, but with 2 seconds left, 100 Thieves managed to close this out pretty quickly, but the problem is that if Journey, where he is on the minimap right now, if he was just a little bit closer, there would have been a chance there, but still very difficult. 100 Thieves close out map number 1. This is a clip from the Control. This is the 1v2 that I think it's Metals managed to get into to close out this round. I thought the 100 Thieves were going to take this. They were a very solid Control team, of course. Journey does really well to get 2. Then Priester and Curve are 2 versus 3 on their hands. Metals going to take down the first. And then Kenny and Enable are going to have to back away for a second here. Enable wants to use his stun. He just waits out a second. Good patience from the guys on Heretics. But Methods does eventually get stunned, which is unfortunate for him. Nothing he can really do. Metals tries to slide out and trade. He's going to not get it at the first attempt, but finish it off at the second. And then it's Metals versus Kenny. Who can be the more cracked? Metals clutches up. So for the final series of the day, EUnited versus Envy. Once again, a surprising one. I don't think a lot of people were predicting it to be like this, guys. Like, what the hell was going on here? Envy win frequency hardpoint, super impressive in them. They seem to be really, really good at this map right now. Silly just dominates it. I'll show you a clip of that in a second. He got a gunship on it yesterday, and today's being EUnited, so, you know, you gotta respect it. Impressive stuff. Then in the Search and Destroy as well, they also play frequency here, so yeah, Envy definitely proving to be a very solid frequency team right now. This map was just ruled by Hook, and yeah, Apathy went 2-8, but it doesn't matter when Hook and Silly are dominating the game, and Hook was back to his, like, old ways, I guess, that he's been playing on before. I think the guys on the hot mic said that, you know, a couple of days ago, they all wanted to team with Hook, and you can see why when you watch this guy play it. It's pretty unmatched. He actually just does it all on the map. Like, he's getting everyone's trades, he's flying around corners for everyone. You know, he's just a massive clutch factor. And Envy win the Control as well. Came all the way down to a round 5 here. Defense won the very first 4 rounds, and then, you know, they won the specialist battle in the final round, did Envy. Hook goes 25-19, Silly drops 33 kills. This guy's been going off lately, very impressive. So this is the end of that map number 1, and yeah, this is a surprising outcome, I think, for a lot of people. A lot of people would have assumed EUnited were the better team coming into this. Envy have been struggling without doubt. Look at this fantastic 2-piece from Apathy. Oh, baby, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, Envy lock it down. I mean, we know these guys have the potential on the day. It's the team that won the 2018 World Championship plus Hook. Like, obviously there's a supreme amount of potential on this team, and they should have a lot of chemistry. The fact that they've been playing as poorly as they have lately has kind of surprised me. I don't think... Look at Silly, man. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that was actually ridiculous what he just did to them right there. And Envy close out this game as a result. Yeah, but, you know, I think they've really been reinvigorated by Silly. I think the Hook has had a couple of fantastic days. I mean, Assault gets a 3-piece. Assault hasn't been the player that we would have maybe expected him to be. I think that with the bar on his hands on St. Marie Dumont last year, he was always guaranteed a 1.3 KD, I felt, on that map. This year he hasn't been as spectacular, but, you know, they showed their potential right here, and it sets up interesting things for tonight. So this is the final score of the series. Hook has a 1.3, Silly has a 1.6, 77 kills over just 3 maps. Clayster has a horrible series, and Clay has been pretty tragic of late, I would say. Not the best couple of series out of him. And also, Arcetes hasn't been showing up as much as we would maybe expect of him. But, you know, live by the sword, die by the sword. If you're going to lose a series, it's probably better that you don't have a 1.4 KD. Or you're probably playing the game a little bit wrong to some degree. So, let's go on to tonight's matches. So, well, anyway, first, these are the standings right now. Heretics 5-1. 100 Thieves moved to 4-2. Now, they've been looking so much better, it has to be said. It's very impressive indeed. These are tonight's matches for the final day of the first split of the CWL Pro League. We have Accelerate Denial. I'm going to go Denial in this one. I think this is pretty much a no-brainer at this point. Envy Heretics is a very interesting series. I think I'm going to favour Heretics still on the back of the frequency situation. Heretics are probably the scariest team in the game on frequency, given how they play. They just fly all over the place, have crazy sensitivities, crazy gun skill. They're always flying at you together. And yeah, Envy seem to be really good on that map, and I think they have very similar map sets in terms of what they're good at. So I think I'm going to favour Heretics, but it's definitely a close one after the way Envy played yesterday. 100 Thieves and Enigma 6 could also be close. Enigma 6 have been playing very well. Think I'm going to favour 100 Thieves off their recent form, and the S&D from Enigma 6 hasn't been completely convincing as of yet, I would say. So I think 100 Thieves should be able to get the better of them. And then EUnited Splyce is interesting. Don't know how to call this one. Both teams looking underwhelming the last couple of days. I'm going to favour EUnited just off the history. The fact that Splyce were looking super good at Vegas, but EUnited managed to beat them anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to favour EUnited of some sort of matchup situations, but it's a difficult one to call for sure. Might as well just toss a coin. So like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new as always. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.